Hello, this is As the World Burns. I'm your host, Randall Burns. It is May 9th, 2021. Today's topic is the book One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. Now, Peter Lynch is a very successful fund manager. For many years, he was obtaining 20 to 30% on a large mutual fund that he managed for Magellan. And this is just a phenomenal track record for as fund managers go. And what he's doing in this book is he's explaining his basic rules for investing. As I read the book, it reminded me a lot of the type of when I used to work for a company called Technology, and we did expert systems. And one of the things that our software was designed to do was to enable the automation of rules-based decision making. And what Peter Lynch talks about reminds me of things that tended to fit fairly well into that paradigm. Or one aspect of what he's talking about fits well into that. But there's also issues where what he's really doing is cultivating personal awareness and different types of awareness. Now, there's some similarities with that you would get, say, like from advice from Warren Buffett and his mentor Ben Graham. You know, they're both advocates of diversification, for example. I think that Lynch is less zealous in that respect. You know, his basic sense is that an amateur can outperform experts if they stay in the areas in which they know, and they utilize the information that they have that is unusual. But that requires that they be aware of what that is and have accurate knowledge about what it is. And he doesn't talk a lot about that, except you should know. Okay. Well, and then the other assumption in a lot of what he does is that someone has some basic business knowledge. Now, I have that, and I could appreciate what he's saying. I don't know how applicable it is to people that don't have it. In other words, I think that to really walk the walk that he's walking, I think that that cracking a few books to get through, say, like the core courses in a business curriculum might take you a lot further. Okay. Now, it also requires that you learn to really be objective about yourself. And that can be a very difficult thing. And he doesn't talk about that process, but that's one of the things I would supplement this in. And you have to be honest with yourself. Again, that's a tricky thing for a lot of people. Okay. And you have to be capable of independent thought. This is not a book for instinctual herd animals. And so you need to, A, be honest with yourself, and B, not be a herd animal to fully utilize this book, or at least have areas in which you're not. I think implicit in the approach is a philosophy of real patience and persistence. Okay. Now, I think that the use of metaculus would be very valuable in applying the rules of this book. And what metaculus tells you is what are the areas in which you have intuitive, predictive accuracy. And so that helps you identify what you know. And I think that just doing that up front makes the whole book a lot more valuable. Now, I already done it before I read the book, and I think I got a lot more out of it as a result. Another tool that I think would be really handy is Robinhood, which is a fractional brokerage application. And the thing is that what that lets you do is to start out early on with a small amount of money and establish your track record and try a lot of different strategies. Like he talks about, turnarounds, investment ploys, stalwarts, growth stocks. You can try a group of all of these and you can see what it is that you're good at. And that's really a gift. And you can do it with real money, not real money on a small scale. And then, then work on scaling that up as you discover what are the strategies that work for you? What are the areas that you can play in? Now, one thing I will warn readers that I think is just an important one on this one. I'm not, okay, Peter Lynch strikes me as a whole person. I think he's a somewhat family-oriented person. But one of his favorite stocks is Philip Morris. I think some people would find that stock just offensive from a moral angle. I mean, their product is an addictive poison. And so that's, but I'm just saying that's one I will warn people on. I don't know quite what his moral compass is on these things, but he doesn't talk a lot about that issue. So that's one. You'll need to look elsewhere for guidance on that subject for yourself. I mean, it's a book that I'm glad I read. I will read again, and it has some real merit to it. And I think I'll come back to it again after I've shored up my business tools a little bit more. But again, I did enjoy reading it. I do not think it is a complete con job, and I look forward to learning to apply some of the rules. It'll be a while before I've really given it justice. So this is Randall Burns signing off. Thank you for joining me. Please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe. Comments are welcome, especially suggestions for future episodes. Thank you very much.